Welcome to the next project. This is episode 2 of my Harley Benton T-Style Kit Acoustasonic inspired modification project series. This is going to be a pretty fast-paced video again. I'm taking 6 to 8 hours worth of work time and cramming it into about 10 to 12 minutes, so it's going to be very fast. I apologize if you want more information on any one thing. If you do, drop me some comments, and maybe if there's enough people interested in the same thing, I'll do a standalone video on some of that. But in this, I want to keep things moving. I don't want to spend too much time blabbing at the beginning. A lot of things going on in this episode. Making a sound hole for the guitar, book matching the top soundboard material, getting that glued together, putting ribs on it, a maple bridge plate goes on the back side of the board, just a lot of stuff. So before I talk anymore, let's start the next project. Let's just jump right in and get after it. Here I have a book match piece of spruce that I got from Stu Mac a few months ago, and it was like $12.50. I put everything down on my shooting board, which is the piece of lumber with a stop on it that I have there, using my cheap Grizzly number 7, I believe it is, hand plane, and it did about 99% of the squaring of the edge. I followed that up using a precision contractor level that I use one edge of it I taped sandpaper to, and that gave me the edge I needed. Now I'm ready to glue those two pieces together, put a little backer of masking tape on it, a little bit of tight bond, wiggle it together to get good contact for the glue, and some custom 15-pound, I think it was, clamping weights. Time again to make another little template, and this is a 3-inch inside diameter donut and donut hole. There are a number of different ways you can make a circular template, but I just used my router in my table, put a piece of wood on it with a center pin at the right dimension I needed, and just use a spiral bit to cut through. I've taped it up with my yellow vinyl tape, smeared some bondo in the gap between the two pieces, and popped out the plug. And finishing the process by making a perfect fitting little template plug. Part of the planning of this included using what I have, and a little bit later we're going to see I have a 3-inch hole saw, so that was part of the reasoning for the size of the sound hole that I made. It also looked better than a lot of other sizes I tried. Now I'm using the male and female part of the templates and some kind of dangerous looking routing to make what will be the new sound hole. That's a 3-inch hole saw and an old toothbrush to help keep the teeth clean. Back to the table, and I've got my, first I had the jigsaw stuck in there, I've got the router again. And this is just a test to make sure it fits, and it did fit. Now I'm easing the edge of the top of the sound hole, and it's gonna look something like that. That's looking pretty good. Following a little card scraper work to get rid of the center glue line, I used one of the mini templates that I made to trace out the new top shape onto the spruce, and started doing the rough cutting on my little table with my jigsaw stuck in there. I cut within about a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch of the line, so it's reasonably close, but no danger of cutting into the actual material I need. pretty good, and I have to stop and think for a moment and realize I really don't know what I'm doing because I've never built this type of guitar before. So I'm back and forth between my measured drawings and, a little more head scratching here and there. And then I have to commit finally at some point after locating the hole, rough cut the opening, and back to the router. Give it a once around and get it cleaned up, and then test fit the sound hole. Again, it's time to commit back to the router using a spiral bit and my template that is made for an undersized top. I'll be able to use 60 thousandths double ply binding all the way around the top when I drop it into the body. At least that's the plan. Again, just starting to test fit things. It's starting to look like a guitar. Nice. Back to the drawing to figure out some dimensions, do a bunch of test sketches on there, and I'm going to be making a template that will center this 0.8 millimeter engraving bit on the line that's just big enough for the pickup to get through. So my template has to be a little oversized for the bit center to hit where I need it. Give my brain a little bit of time to cool off, I decided to move on and cut a bridge plate. This is a piece of maple that I ripped through on my bandsaw and hitting it with the plane and a card scraper to get it flat. And I will be gluing this to the underside of the top, right where the bridge and bridge pickup are going to go through. Trying to ensure that I have things centered and square, and now I'm getting ready to smear some glue. After everything dried thoroughly, basically sitting overnight, I taped the MDF template in place for the bridge cutout. I put the 0.8 millimeter engraver's bit in my little cutoff tool. It's like a Dremel tool, basically. And here I'm swapping out my templates when I realized the bit's not deep enough to get all the way through the spruce top and the maple plate. So I had to make a thinner template, basically, kind of working backwards. The bit cut through the spruce really well, very easily, but I was only able to take about 1 millimeter or less cut per pass once I hit the hard maple. Back to the shooting board using my hand plane again, and here I am squaring up some pieces of quarter sawn spruce that I'm going to be using for the 2 ribs on the bottom side of the top. I haven't carved these to be acoustic ribs. They're not carved for tone of any sort at this moment. I'm really putting them in place just to make sure the top is solid. And I am carving away the ends, so where the ribs meet what I call the kerf ledge, even though there are no kerf cuts, I don't have to have a deep cut into that ledge to get everything to fit. I marked it, and now I'm going to town with my little chisel until the top fits. This guitar is going to have all the access from the back side of the body, so I'm going to be pushing through both the control cavity cover for the back access and also a center cutout where I can get to the bottom of the bridge and also the back side of the pickup. Speaking of which, the pickup will be mounted or loaded from the back of the guitar, and I am going to have the adjustment screws built into the back plate. So if the pickup needs to be moved up or down, that adjustment will be done from the back of the guitar rather than from the top on a standard tele bridge. Another template takes place. Just can't get enough of those. Just doing some final recess work so the covers will fit into the body instead of sitting on top of the body. And I want to thank everybody for sticking with me through this project. It's going very well. I hope you've enjoyed the videos so far. And if you can pick up any ideas, feel free to improve on anything you see in any way you can. If you got a project going on, please share it with me. I'm very interested in what other people have going on. Please hit the like button, ring the bell, subscribe, share this video if you can, and be safe. Take care.